Should I go to an AA meeting or rehab? That depends on where you are with wanting to quit. If it's your first go at it, then I think it's helpful to consider both. But there's nothing wrong with going to an AA meeting and just seeing what it's all about. It's best to go with somebody who is in the program, who can help kind of explain how it works and to make you feel more at ease. That's the basic reason for going with somebody else, because it's very hard for people to get up and go for their very first meeting. But a meeting in itself, going to 12-step meetings or any other form of peer help groups is only a part of the solution. Rehab is all-encompassing. This is a complex issue we're dealing with when we're talking about addiction or alcoholism, and the treatment is also complex. So it's typically not as simple as just going to a 12-step meeting. In rehab, we learn new techniques of coping with life stresses, of being aware of my own thoughts, triggers that lead me to wanting to use, learning how to recognize these triggers and to cope with them. For example, learning that a trigger tends to last less than a minute, sometimes even less than 10 seconds, and learning how to ride it out. Cognitive behavioral therapy is learned in rehab as well, and this is recognizing what my triggers are, recognizing myself and the behaviors I employ, like bargaining, looking for ways of trying to explain to myself or to others why it's best that I use. There's also avoiding internalization. Now, internalization is when a person tends to just stuff their feelings inside and not expressing themselves. The opposite of this in recovery is to be able to speak about my issues with other people, whether it's in a 12-step group or in a small group in rehab or one-on-one with somebody. So rehab offers a lot more benefits than just a 12-step meeting can. Another helpful thing is that 12-step meetings, one of the rules of conduct is that when there's no crosstalk, meaning that if somebody brings something up during their share, during the sharing portion of this meeting, it's not appropriate to talk about them and give them feedback. That's not what is recommended in a 12-step group unless cross-talk is allowed. But in a rehab unit and aftercare and in other self-help peer groups, there is crosstalk allowed, meaning you get feedback from other people in the group. So that to me is a little bit more helpful than in a 12-step group where nobody is providing feedback. Just to add to that though, that in a 12-step group you are allowed to give feedback to somebody, but just not in front of the group. It's better to do that afterwards, privately, one-on-one. So to summarize, should I go to an AA meeting or rehab? To me, the more important thing is rehab, absolutely, because there's a lot more tools you can learn there. It's more worth your time. 12-step groups are very helpful. I'm not against them at all. In fact, I am for them, but they only comprise just a small part of the solution. Abstaining is 15%. The other 85% is the lifestyle modifications, and it's very difficult to obtain all those skills in a 12-step group. A rehab can offer you a lot more benefit, more bang for your buck too. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave it in the comment box below. Thank you.
If you or a loved one are looking for help with substance abuse, call our 24/7 helpline at 1-800-615-1067. A caring addiction advisor is awaiting your call.
you.